Whispers of the morning stars, love expanded, infinite, come to earth, a hero's journey, finding what has always been, finding what has always been, finding what has always been. Feel me now, I am the avatar. No ego here remains. I've washed away my pain, and now I am alive again. My power is insane, ineffably contained.
Hi there, my name is Jamie Devine. Welcome to IAMDIVINITY.
Here at IAMDIVINITY, what we do is we help you unlock your inner power.
So that's what we're doing.
When I come here to the call, you break out my memory from my childhood.
That's the power. Imagine how healthy our community will be. Like, they're so pure and so powerful.
Greetings, divine beings. Can I get a 111 in the chat if that? Wait, can you hear me? Yes, so you can. Can I get a 111 in the chat if that intro was just freaking amazing. Shout out to our videography and our media team and Mr. Will for putting that together literally on the spot. Just like we were talking about yesterday, it's all about just in the moment, intuitive action, spontaneous, and yeah, we just got the insight and then just got it done right away. So super awesome. Gilbert looks like a Super Bowl promotion. Yeah, yep. It was freaking amazing. We got a really, really awesome videography and media team. So shout out to them. And then shout out to you guys, everyone on the call. Maayon buntag. That's good morning in Bisaya. Maayong gabi, good evening to all of you, and maayon hapon, good afternoon to all you guys on the call. Andrew, Arcadia, Dominic, Gilbert, Michael, Paul, Ostrowski, and then Paul Shilaki. I don't know if I'm saying that right, Paul. I'm sorry, Superman. And Alan, welcome, 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 welcome. And speaking of spontaneous, yeah, this is my first time ever just completely just doing the stream on my own. So we'll see how it goes. Mr. Don Smith, our Chief Divinity Officer, had to take care of some stuff on Divinity Mountain. And then Jamie's back. He was on a well-deserved little getaway with his fiance, but it seems like he's a bit tired. He's needed some sleep. So, yep, super excited. We do have some news for you all, as promised as yesterday. So good news. I'll go with the good news first. So the good news is we are live to take payments and yeah, take payments in crypto. We do have the credit card option, but that is going to require another 2 to 3 days because we have to do a like if you sign up for like a crypto exchange or whatever, there's a KYC aspect where it's like they you fill out some of your personal information. It's know your customer. Well, whenever you're accepting payments as a business, there's the know your business. So we had to fill that out, and they said it's gonna take 2 to 3 business days. So we're right there. I keep saying it's like the last piece, but like I said, there's that one piece that's connected to 5 other pieces. So I apologize on behalf of our team, but I mean it's just part of the process. And so I actually yesterday I created a training for you all so that way we can effectively get this out to the right people. And I'll at the end of this call, I'll figure out when we're gonna actually do that training. It might not be on the live stream, it might be like at a separate time actually, because it'll take a good 30 to 45 minutes. But in the meantime, I would love to hear some updates from you beautiful people. So if anyone wants to share anything that's come up in the last 24 hours, I would love to hear. Dominic is representing Slovakia. He just went through the process. Let's go. Yeah, that's my boy. What came up for you, Dominic? You want to share?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, um, how to start? Um, I just I was chatting with Gilbert Herrera, and he sent me one really strong message where he just gave me uh, the login to the Divine website, and I was like, "What?" I was like, because before we chat about my recovery because I had a car accident just 2 weeks ago, and I have 3 broken ribs. And I said to him that I'm trying to heal by some frequencies I find out on YouTube, but it didn't really help. And he was like, "All right, man, no problem. I will send you this, and I will send you this, and I will send you that." And I was like, "Oh my God, this man really genuinely want to help." And it really hit me, and it hit me with so much gratitude, like so much gratitude. My ego was shot to pieces, like completely, like completely. And it was the exactly same feeling like when I first saw that third video with Don, the Mr. Don.
Mhm.
Uh, I thought it again, and yeah, since that it was about 3 hours before, and yeah, I said to him, I have to stay awake. I have to make that call, and I was pretty tired like 20 minutes ago. But yeah, and then I said to myself, no way, I have to stay, and I have to make that call. So I'm here. I'm really looking forward to everything I'm going to see there, and yeah, that's it.
Hey,
So
Dominic,
Dominic,
tell him what time is it over there, brother?
It's 3 hours and 70 minutes a.m.
So 3:17 in the morning. Thank you for jumping on, brother. I know it's a very intense time, but thank you for making it on. Appreciate you
No
sharing all that.
worries, it's all right.
so Dominic, so this is your second time doing the process, correct?
Correct.
So just so you know, the ego, which is not you, it's not your ego, the ego is going to try every single way. It's going to use your unlimited infinite creativity that you are, that you possess, to give you reasons as to why you don't deserve to be in your divinity. Okay? So it's really, really important that you recognize that. And that's why we have this community. So you can connect with people like Gilbert. You can connect with people like Paul and Shannon and Tim and Michael and everybody else, right? Because it reminds you of who you truly are. You're not the ego, you're not the stories, you're not the what has happened to you, the car accident. None of that is you, right? And so the way that, the way that we continue to stay in our divinity is by doing the divine focus. So make sure that you're not giving any space or any room for the ego to come in and convince you like, hey, no, that what you experienced wasn't real. So it's like
I feel
it's
amazing.
well, you look amazing, bro. You look extremely bright. The light is shining
Thank
from you,
you.
bro.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, just make sure that you're keeping up with your divine focus because, like I said, like literally the ego will try to use every single way to make you question yourself, doubt that it actually happened, that all of these things, and it's a daily thing, and it's we that's why we do it 3 times a day as well because there are it's just you're still living in this 3D realm, right? And there are things that can try to pull you out and so on and so forth. So just make sure that you're keeping up with it. And Yes, and then and the ammunition of the ego. Do we have that? Can we pull that up? Actually, have you gotten added to the Facebook group yet, Dominic?
No. I have no idea there is some Facebook group.
Okay, so Gilbert, if you can add him in there, and that way we
I
can
got
have
you,
him
brother.
just connected. Awesome. All right, awesome. So thanks for sharing, Dominic. So we do have a couple of new people here today, including yourself. Which I mean, you're not really new. You've heard of this before, but we're streaming on a couple of different platforms. We're on Facebook, X, YouTube, LinkedIn. And so maybe you're wondering what the heck are we doing? Who's this guy in the pink suit, the purple suit? And what are they talking about? Divinity, ego, divine flow. What is it? What is all of this? So just to give you all an idea, if you're new and maybe you've been looking and you've been searching for something, whether it's in religion or philosophy or personal development, or maybe you've taken like 69 ayahuasca journeys, okay? This community and what we've created is called I Am Divinity. And what we do is we help people have instant and permanent transformations. I mean, I want you to imagine being completely free of all phobias, fears, limiting beliefs, trauma, and just living in an existential level of bliss 24/7. Okay. And so, personally, I've done over 12 years of personal development. I've read thousands of books. I've invested in seminars, transformational workshops, done the plant medicine, done the energy work, was certified in many different ones, breath work, all of that. And whenever I showed up to my mentor, Don, it was actually over a year ago, I had all of my baggage. I had all of everything. And until I actually was able to fully surrender to the fact of who I truly was, I was still stuck in this toxic cycle. And so, if you've been searching and you've been looking for all of these things that are outside of you, I just want you to know that your search is over.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. My name is Don Smith. That's Don with 2 N's. And I'm here to share with you what I've developed over 44 years that I call I Am Divinity. I say that I Am Divinity because I'm divine and so are you. No matter what you've done and what you haven't done, you are divine, you always were, and you always will be. And it gets all covered up. And so all of those trips to the personal developments and all of those things, and they don't hold. And did you ever question yourself? Instead of just going back and getting the next one and the next one and the next one and none of them hold? Well, there's a reason for that. A very big reason is because you're working at a belief level of who you think you are. That's what beliefs are, both negative and positive. They're who we think we are. So going from a negative belief to a positive belief is not the answer whatsoever. It's about the knowing of who we truly are. There's knowing. It isn't a belief. And so all of these ideas of doing this and all of those trips to the wherevers, it's like dealing with a piece of something. But this is not a piece of anything. This is the total knowing of who you are. And what I've developed over this 44 years is a process that's instant and it's permanent. Now, the permanent comes in by you doing something for holding it. But I'm telling you, there's people have this for years, and it's instant. And how do I say that with such boldness? Well, put it in the category of a phobia. 90% of the population has a phobia of something. Bugs, snakes, rats, heights, water, whatever. And my question to you is, how long did it take for you to create that phobia? Yes, you're right. 1 instant. And yet everybody questions me about that. And yet that's all it took. 1 instant. So now what I did was I reverse engineered near-death experiences and phobias to find out how they worked, and I reverse engineered it. So if you can create a phobia in a second, and most times it's before the age of reason, which is 4, 5, 6. Think about that. At that young of an age, that in 1 second you created a lifetime phobia. Well, it's a lifetime phobia because you're holding on to it for protection. That's how the ego works. It's going to get you to hold on to something that's harmful for you so it can keep you aware in case it happens again. That's how toxic your ego is. And it's not your ego, it's the ego. Sorry, my mistake. Because you are much more than an ego. And so what it's about is if you create it in a second, why would it take any longer than a second to reverse it if you knew how you did it? That's what I do. That's one of the pieces. And then the other is the permanentness of it all. Well, I'm going to ask you a question. What color are your eyes? What color are those eyes of yours? Now you tell me how long you had that color. Yeah, your whole life. That's permanent. Would you agree? But look at the permanentness of a phobia. You had it from age 4 to 84. That's 80 years. You'd think that was permanent. But it was created in a second, and you can reverse it in a second. So it's not. That's what I'm saying. So that's what we're talking about. Something that's instant, something that's permanent, and it's about who you truly are. Your divinity, your divine. Don't ever forget it. Always remember it. And all of these other things are happening because you have an attachment to the personal development system of beliefs and changing a belief from a negative to a positive. It's not going to hold. It will not hold. Yes, there will be improvements. Congratulations on doing that. That's searching. I'm talking about a shift from this to a shift from this. Who we're not to who we are. And then doing a simple exercise. Takes 5 minutes, 3 times a day to hold it. And there you have it. That's it. That's who you are. That's why it's like the color of your eyes. The color of your eyes has been that way all this time, and you still have that color. Well, it's the same. Who you truly are is permanent. Who your beliefs are not, because it's not true. No matter how much you believe, the negative or the positive about those beliefs, they're false. And so, I'm here to share with you to go on a journey under 2 hours. Now I'm talking about, like I've worked with 15 different pro athletes or Olympians, okay? That's just in sports. And then mega billionaires, millionaires, and health, cancer. You know, one guy, yeah, I met him in the garbage room in Vancouver. I opened up the door and there he is. And he's so gray and he's humped over and he's like, you think he was going to die any second. I said, holy shit, man, you don't look too good. What's going on? He said, oh, I got prostate cancer. I've had it for 16 months. I've had 32 radiation treatments. And I don't know how much time I have. I said, don't listen to that bullshit. Can I ask you a few questions? Within that 15 minutes, I had asked him all these questions. And all I knew about him was his name was Al. 3 weeks later, I get a call from him. This same guy. He said, hi, Don, this is Al Valjanic. I met you in the garbage room 3 weeks ago. Yeah? Well, I don't have any cancer. Now, I could fill this room with those stories. Fill this room with those stories. And you can access this magnificent, powerful, divine energy called IAMDIVINITY. And what's natural about it, it matches who you truly are. That's the key. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that exciting that you will know who you are and it will override and supersede who you think you are? Now, if you're tied up with that persona that you've developed, in a second, I might add, and kept it all this time, like I just worked with a guy that when he was 9, his mom died. And he decided to harden his heart. And he hardened his heart the next 40 years. And that's what all his issues were about. We went back, cleaned that up, boom, it's gone. All the symptoms were all gone. That's how easy it is. And that's how simple this is. So if you want to continue with your hard work and all of those kind of things, and going back and paying for this again, that again, and this again, and the counseling and the therapy and coaching and all of that, go ahead, by all means. But if you want to be free, free to be you, free to be who you truly are, and those eyes, every time you look in the mirror, it will remind you how magnificent you are. And that's how this process is about, whether it's in an individual or whether it's in group. And I welcome you to join us in this journey of raising humanity's consciousness from its existing 210 to 700. That's right, you heard it right. 210 to 700.
Can you get the consciousness
So it's an
already?
awesome journey. We're looking for 100 that are willing to go to 700 to raise humanity's consciousness. So I welcome you, and I'll see you on our journey.
Awesome. So if this is your first time on this call, that video does a really good job of explaining what our mission here is at IAMDIVINITY. You know, you've probably been a part of a lot of different programs and just different affiliate programs and stuff like that. I just want you to know that this right here, you being here, you're not just a part of a program, you're actually a part of a shift that's gonna completely shift all of humanity, a movement that's literally embedded in helping raise and shift humanity from its existing 210 consciousness level. That's the average, and I'll have the chart pulled up right here so you have a better understanding. The 210, which is slightly above courage. Can you see that? It's loading, I believe. Okay, cool. So it's just a little bit above 200 to a 700. So this chart right here was created by the late Dr. David Robert Hawkins. And so it's interesting because before this, I would say I was probably at about maybe a 175. And with Don's process in an instant, he was able to take me to over a 700. And just to give you an example and some reference of what 700 looks like, 700 to 1,000, which is interesting because I just saw this meme pop up on my Instagram earlier. It was Jesus, Krishna, and Buddha all walking together. And then they said something, I can't remember, but it said something along the lines like, I hope our followers understand that there's no difference between us and them. And that's exactly what we're saying, is that our natural state is one of enlightenment, one of knowing. We're shifting from the system of beliefs of I believe, or I am not worthy, I am worthy, the negative belief of I am not worthy, or the positive belief of I am worthy. They're both actually toxic. Which is interesting because when I heard that from Don, he's like, do you know that your positive beliefs are just as toxic as the negative ones? I'm like, what in the heck is this guy with the pink hair talking about? Because at the time, Don had pink hair. And so I'm like, dude, like, what do you mean? I literally spent like 10 years plus trying to develop myself. Because I came from a very traumatic childhood, you know what I mean? Where I felt super unworthy. I felt like everything was against me and so on and so forth. And then I was working my way to finally being worthy of feeling like I could accomplish these things. And I did. I accomplished a lot in the last 10 to 12 years. I was the top 1%, and I'm not saying this from a bragatory place. I'm just telling you how even after accomplishing all these things, I was still stuck in my toxic programs. You know, it was like I hit the top 1% of every company. I built multiple businesses, whether for myself or with other people. I was able to travel the world. I had the hot supermodel wife, all that. But I still had all of my toxic programs. I was addicted to coffee. I drank 4 to 5 cups a day. I was addicted to marijuana. I'd smoke 8 to 10 bowls a day. I literally would be helping people with their healing with my breath work, and I'm out here with my bong next to me, so hitting my bong as I'm helping people heal. Like how crazy, right? And so I was addicted to sex, I was addicted to validation, I was addicted to people pleasing, which these things, what I'm saying is you probably can relate one way or another. And so I did the process with Dawn, and everything shifted for me. Everything. I mean, it's like there was nothing externally that I needed. You know, someone asked me a question today, like, what makes you happy? And, you know, before I would say, yeah, it was like the coffee, the weed, travel. Yeah, I was addicted to travel too. Like I've been to 25 different countries, 92 cities, visited 40 plus states. And, you know, even whenever I did all those things, I couldn't even enjoy it in the moment. Even when I made the money or I had the accolades, I still felt like I needed more and more and more and more. And that's the ego. The ego is never, ever satisfied with what it has. But whenever you're in your divinity, everything is. What I mean by everything is, everything is perfectly divine in this present moment, and you just enjoy it for what it is. And that's a level of freedom we want you to have if you haven't already experienced it. You know, there's no amount of money, girls, or men, you know, validation, travel, or any of that that's going to actually give you that level of freedom, because these are all externally referenced. And that's what the ego is. It's externally referenced and it's fear-based. Externally referenced and fear-based. And so this process that Don has created, or I should say he's been gifted by the divine, he's developed over the last 44 years. He's taken so many different pieces from here and there. Like I think he's done AA and then reality choice therapy and like neurolinguistic programming. I took that as well. All of these different things, and he's gotten all these little pieces. And the way that he puts it is like, imagine like a 10,000 piece puzzle. And the way that he is able to help you is, okay, so for example, imagine the chimney of this puzzle is where the door is, and the door is in the kitchen, and the kitchen is in the living room. So basically just rearranging the puzzle so that the energy flows naturally. Because this is not anything that he's not coaching you. We're not doing anything for you externally. In fact, it's all you. And for some of the people that have had amazing transformations, I want you guys to hear from them on, you know, where they were before the process, you know, how long the process took for them, and then what were the results after. So this will be a good exercise for everyone to practice their story, because obviously we're about to launch our partner program. So who wants to share? Just if you can, just use this reference point. Where were you before the process? How long did it take you? And what were the results after? Gilberto, I'm going to just choose you. I choose you.
What is this, Pokemon?
Yep.
Oh, well, I just came out of the capsule. What am I doing here again? So no, before the process, I had a lot of trauma, pain, lots of trauma, a lot of addictions, just like Sam, sex, drugs, rock and roll maybe, and a lot of other ones too. But during and then after the process, it stripped all of them to include my phobias. I had a lot of chatter as well too in my mind, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of people pleasing, and it stripped all of that. So now I don't have. It just feels free. It feels really free to not be beholden to anything external, like you said before, with stimuli. And now that I thought freedom was getting enough finances to be able to travel the world, so I won't be restricted. And now hearing all of your guys' stories. But now after going through the process, it feels so free not to need anything outside of you to feel like incredible. Like I'm telling you, I was a slave to weed too, bro, and that was intense. Not and then not having enough income constantly every month to satisfy that feeling. That man, I'm telling you, I felt like a little bitch. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry for the language, but it was it was sad the way I was running my life and how self-sabotaging it constantly was. I was doing really good at a lot of my ventures that I was doing, and all of a sudden, somewhere down the line, it got sabotaged. And then
Mm.
I didn't know it was all of that trauma, all of the stuff that happened when I was younger that I really thought I broke through with all the professional development. I just did a decade. You did 12 years, but a decade going through energy work, massage therapy, hitting as much things as I could get my hands on, always looking for mystic schools, trying to look for an ascension process. And I've never met one that was this gentle and this simple. I really thought I had to like sneak my way into the Vatican, okay, and like steal some like ancient scrolls or something. That's what I thought, like, you know. But it's good to know that I don't need to do all that stuff because that sounds exhausting now. But yeah, that's a little bit of me and where I was and where I am now. A lot of beautiful blessings in my life coming through every single day. I'm invited to Hawaii, Mexico, Sweden, um, Kissimmee, Spain, a lot of different places in such a short period of time. A lot of beautiful things have opened up for me. A lot of gifts have came into my life. So that's where I am now. Okay.
And the
And
Philippines.
oh, and the Philippines. Yeah, looking forward to that one for sure. So yeah. So that's a little bit of me. So I'm looking to
So
hearing
Gilbert, question. So you said that you did about a decade worth of personal development. How long did this process take for you? I think you're muted, bro.
unmute. Okay. Hey,
Oh, there you go.
so no, yeah, definitely. I felt like it was gonna take another 30 years at the rate I was going. And I went with you guys. It was just like I scrolled through your page on the 15-page one, and I just learned the little techniques about holding it, 5 minutes, seeing the light, seeing my brightest moment. And I was just going off of that one episode, dude. I didn't have I didn't go through the 2 hour thing that Dominique got a chance to take a look at, bro. I didn't see that, Dominique, be honest with you. I literally just did I just started doing the three things. And then I thought it was the meditation one that was on YouTube, the one that Don Smith had. So I just started listening to his at night before I went to bed. And by the second day, like it stripped like all of the chatter that I had at this ridiculous clarity. So it was just instant, to be honest with you. It was just during, I don't know if it was like 10 minutes, an hour in that process, but it was within a day. So it sure does beat the 10 years that I've been still struggling to get rid of all that garbage that never really stuck. So it's just nice to have something that is this powerful and this easy. It's just the only thing that's difficult is is our willingness and our ability to be honest with ourselves during this process and to have the courage to go through it. You know what I mean? And then the last thing was the surrender, bro. The surrender, man. That it takes to realize that you can only go so far in the realm of intellect, and you can't go any further up because the divine is so wise. It didn't allow any intellectual egos to sabotage the divinity that's further up. So he created a stopping point for the people who are not willing to surrender. Like, that is just mind-blowing to me still, bro. So I'm just grateful for the process, and I'm just grateful that everybody else is on here, and I'm just not, it's really beautiful to see a bunch of ascended masters gathering together. So that's truly what we are. And it's such a beautiful thing to see, bro. To be able to be alive during this process, to have multiple Jesus walking around, multiple Buddhas, multiple Krishnas walking around and saying, "What's up? What's up, Seth? What's up, broski?" Ah! Oh, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm sure somebody else. I
No,
would
bro,
like
I
to
love it. I love it. Take up all the space you want, bro. There's no
Okay, I'm gonna voluntold
voluntold. I
Shannon,
like that one.
Shannon or Tiffany. One of you guys, or LK, but any one of you guys. I'm so looking forward to hearing what you all have to share. The second I stop speaking, I start learning. So I'm looking forward to learning.
Let's get a Gilbert Wu.
Woo!
Yeah.
Let's get a
Awesome.
Gilbert.
Thank you, bro. And yeah, the floor is yours. Whoever wants to go next, whether it's Shannon or Janet or Tiffany or LK. Oh, there he goes. There goes Janet.
Yeah, so I guess before I met Dawn, I was on this journey of constant like spirituality, personal development, personal transformation, seeing energetic therapists. I traveled just to eat and drink, and I didn't realize I had a lot of phobias, and I was a germaphobe and like all these things, and that kept me safe was what I realized. And I also never felt safe being with like a man and just attracting like all the wrong type of people. And after seeing Dawn in the Philippines, like I had no desire to not stop drinking, and I haven't touched alcohol since December 17th. Um, and yeah, it's just he brings you to a state where you have no more thoughts. Like I remember at one point when we were on their beach, I'm like, oh, Dawn. I'm like, never mind. Oh yeah. Like I would just answer my own, I just knew the answers or I just answered my own questions. And it was such a shift that I've never actually felt before. And doing the process again the second time through Zoom was more powerful because I finally felt safe. Um, yeah, we got to go back to my mother's womb, and I realized all these things that happened during that time, and that altered my whole life. And I was able to see how I functioned through my whole life, feeling unsafe, not enough, not worthy. And yeah, it's just been so freeing, to say the least. And now I'm in a situation where I just can create from this moment right now at this very moment. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not stressed about it. And I'm in like one of the best times of my life. Like imagine making the best money of your life, yet now you have this huge debt. And I'm so excited to like just figure it out and go into the next level. Like the old me would have been stressed, probably crying and trying to like make myself a victim, but I'm just excited for everything.
Yeah, and then you were so just on that note, Janet, and so Janet's in the company that I was in a couple of years ago, and she's like one of the top earners in the whole company. And she is actually she like randomly reached out to me the other day and was like, "Hey, do you know anything about taxes?" Right? She had been asking, right, Janet, you told me that you were asking for something along those lines.
Yeah, I was literally looking for something like this. And you're like, yeah, I have something casually. And it just fell into my lap.
And that's how this process works. It's like you're gonna be at the right place at the right time with all the right people. No need of force. And just I mean, just look at Janet. Like she's literally shining so bright. and she's not having to, she's not thinking, she's literally just being here. And that's the level of freedom that you can have. And so Jan, I have a question. So you've been doing pretty well for yourself for all these years. Did any of that stuff before the process, did it make things like, the more money, the more travel, did it alleviate any of the fears, any of the phobias that you had?
No, I was drinking more than ever. I was I was spending more money. I was drinking way more because I was like, I'm only gonna drink because I'm happy, and I was happy every single day. Yeah,
Every day is a day.
it elevated my everything. And that's why I
And you
had to
said that you stopped since 17?
December
December,
17th. Yeah,
oh,
that was
so
when
of 2023 or 22? Oh, 23.
that was when I was heading to see Don, when I was en route to see Don. That's when I stopped after I saw him. But yeah.
Amazing. That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing, Janet.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's see. Would love to hear some more stories. This is my favorite part, actually, just hearing all of you guys' testimonies. I really would love to hear LK's story. It's so powerful because a lot of the times we think that age defines us, and like Don always says that he's forever young. I've been using that term actually. I never use like the old thing. I was always like, Don, I'm like this, how young are you or whatever. And so we got this young fella right here, LK, that had an amazing transformation as well. I would love to hear your story, brother.
Which part of it are you talking about, Sam? You talking about the getting rid of that old crutch that I had, or what, dude?
The whole thing. And just if you can, try to practice your story, because so just like where you were before the process, how long the process took you, and then what were the results?
Well, the process, it took me, I mean, when I went through it the first time with Don, the first group that he went through, or he took through it. And, I was having a lot of issues at the time. I had, like I said, I had broken an ankle a couple of years, about a year and a half prior to when I had went through the process. And it was the summer of 22 when I broke the ankle, June. And so that whole summer, I was basically, I couldn't put any weight on the foot. Doctor said, hey, keep the weight, don't put any weight on that foot. Use crutches. I had to use a knee scooter in the house because, I still wanted to get around, but, I couldn't walk, or crawl or whatever. Anyway, as the months went by, June, September, or July, August, September, this point, I was to the point where the doctor said, okay, you're good, everything looking good, but keep as little weight off that foot as possible. Use a crutch if you have to, or a cane. So I graduated to a cane, and for that whole year of from June of 22 and then 23, when I was still using the cane everywhere I went. And like I said, one day I was, getting a car. I was heading down to, I think, going to the store or something. And the old Eagle was saying, you, excuse me, Sam, for a second.
No worries.
The dog barking. Anyway, you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so got in the car, and then I forgot. I got down about 3 miles away from the house, and I'm thinking the ego kicks in and says, hey, man, you forgot that cane. You need the cane, because when you get to where you're going, you're going to see other people with a cane, and they're going to be wanting to know what happened to you, and you're going to feed into it, and conversation's going to be around how you got hurt and how they got hurt and all this crap. And anyway, like I said, I was heading, and then at this point, I'm thinking, I don't need that cane. And that was after, that was like a day or two, or a week or two after I did the process with Don. I said, I don't need that darn cane. And I haven't used a cane since then. So I got rid of that crutch. That's one crutch I got rid of. And like I was a couple of weeks ago, I was telling Don, we had a little conversation, and I wanted to ask him about different genetic conditions. I got a issue with my eye. I got glaucoma. So basically, over time, I'm going to lose a sight in my eye. And when he said, that's probably something that happened in the womb. And I'm thinking to myself, how in the world could that happen in the womb? But I go back, when I go through I went through the process again after I talked to him, and went back to the womb. And it was like I could hear my mom and maybe my grandmother, great grandmother, talking about members of the family that had glaucoma and they had gone blind. So they were putting that was in my mind, that you got it, you're going to go blind. But I wanted to talk to Don and say, since I went back, I mean, it's not completely reversed, or I'm not completely seeing like I think I should see, that there's some subtle changes that are actually positive in my eye, that think maybe it'll go back. It'll reverse. It'll come back to where, and when I see my eye doctor the next time around, she'll say, "Hey, what are you doing, man? You're seeing a lot better than the last time I saw you." I just want that to happen. But yeah, that's pretty much my update there, Sam. So,
Well, thanks for the share, LK. But I will say is that there's no, because if you listen to your words, you said, oh, well, maybe, hopefully, but like to get to that point, it's a complete knowing. Okay, so like it's, doing the divine focus and continuing to go through and using that, allowing the divine energy to just get your system back to where it's supposed to be, and
right.
it will. I believe that it will get to a point where you can see clearly through that eye.
Yes, and
I know that if you stick to it and you're allowing that divine to fill you, that
and
it'll
that's basically what I do. Sam, during my divine focus, I'll kind of try to direct some of that energy. When I do the I am, I get all the cells of your body at attention, basically, when you give it that command, and then focus that attention on that part of the body that needs the most. So
Let's get it.
That's basically how I do when I go to my divine focus, my 3 times a day. That's where I put most of my energy.
It's just a matter of time, LK. We're gonna hear some good news.
Well, like I say, like it's there's some change. It's subtle, but it's real. I mean, I could actually see the change that's happening. So, in time.
Well, that's awesome.
It
That's
is
super
done.
great to hear. It is done. It is done.
Yeah. So that we'll let somebody else take the screen now if you want.
Well, thank you, LK. Appreciate you. And then I saw Tiffany. She said something about her sore throat. So I'll share, Tiffany, because it was like a couple of weeks ago. I woke up and I had tonsillitis. My throat was so swollen. My ear felt like it was infected, and it was like really hard to speak. I actually ended up missing the stream because of that. And I looked up what it was, and it's like not speaking my truth. That was number one. So I'm not sure where it is that you're not speaking your truth, but I would definitely get into your divine focus as long as possible, because that's what happened to me. I woke up in the morning, tonsillitis, throat was literally like freaking super swollen. My ear was swollen, and by the end of the day, it was 95% healed. And literally before 24 hours, it was completely gone. And the crazy thing is like my nurse friend, she said, "Oh, you're gonna need to take this medicine and this medicine. It might take you a couple of days, blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, "No, I'm not taking any medicine." And I told Jamie, I was like, "Hey, I'm just gonna stay at home today. I'm just gonna do divine focus all day." I ended up doing divine focus like 30, 40 minutes at a time for I think 5, 6 times that first day. And it was completely gone. And I realized where it was that I wasn't speaking my truth. And so I suggest you figure, because at the end of the day, we are creating every single experience in our life, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. So I hope you feel better. I know you will. And looking forward to hear some updates from you, possibly in the next stream, Tiffany. She says, I can agree with that. I'm not sure what my truth is, but I do feel like I'm holding back. My entire family is sick the same way. Do we all have that? Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, whether it's conscious or unconscious. So, I'm sure you'll figure it out, and just the divine focus is really the best tool. I'm not sure what it is for you, but I know for me it was me just not, I forget exactly what it was that was holding back on, but I definitely wasn't expressing what I needed to express. That's what I remember. The second thing is like it was like a week or two after that. I stubbed my toe, which I think you guys remember, and my toe for the first 2, 3 days was extremely swollen. And then I looked it up and I was like, "Oh, you're repeating old patterns." Because Don shared this is the mind body workbook, and it talks about how the ego has been messing with me for sure. I know I don't need to ask questions to understand intellectually. Yep. Yep. There's a knowing that you possess, and you know it. It's just sometimes it's a little bit blurry, especially if we haven't been keeping up with our divine focus. But second example of how I created something. I mean, and there's everything in our life is an example, right? You can think about some moment, whether it's negative or positive, that you created, whether it's conscious or unconscious. Me going to jail in Bali before I came here to the Philippines, I created that. And it's funny because I was on the phone with my mom the other day, and she's like, "Oh, blah, blah, like I thought you were gonna become," because I grew up Muslim. My mom was like, "I thought you were gonna be a good Muslim after jail, blah, blah." I'm like, "Mom, like," because she's like, "Oh, God put you in that position so you can learn." I'm like, "No, Mom. First off, I put myself in that position. I created that situation. I wanted to stop smoking weed. I didn't listen. I got put into a Balinese jail for 6 days and then 17 days outside in a little rehab center, and then paid $40,000 US.
Yo, Sam, I think you cut off, bro.
They probably lost electricity.
Yeah. Most likely. That's trippy.
You're up, Gilbert.
Again? No, what are you talking about? They'll be swatting it back to me. You're up, Janet. How about that one?
Your giggles to the Zoom.
Uh, you guys want to hear a dream?
Yeah.
Okay. So I couldn't figure out what that one was about the pulling the string out of the tongue with the teeth. And I really couldn't figure that one out. But I think last night, what was last night? Man, I really have to go get that thing. Anybody else got any dreams? Any cool ones? We'd like to hear somebody else's dream. Who was that? Dominique? Oh yeah, no. Let's check to see what Dominique had to say. I used to smoke weed too, a lot. Oh yeah, didn't you tell me that you started cleaning up your diet, bro? Ever since you started doing the process, like everything, right? It starts calling you in another kind of direction. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, huh? And this is without us thinking. It's just the divine guiding us and enhancing our ability to feel deeper. And there we go. I think he's back. All right, I'm done. Gilbert out. Yo, Sam. I think they're on mute. So I did figure out what that fence within the fence was, like the square fence with the pyramid fence, and then the fire pit in the middle. It had to do with letting me know that I was protected, like super protected. Not just the one fence, but two fences. And in the middle was a representation of our fire, our light. So he said not to worry about anything. So there's some pretty cool dreams.
Do you write your dreams down every day?
All of them.
Mm.
I can do audio recordings. I think Sam's back. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing a movie because it's intense. Some of my dreams are awesome, like astral dreams. Sam, you back, brother?
I am back.
Woo!
Every single time I talk about that story, literally it's Jamie Divine.
Hey!
He's
Yo! Long time no see.
I guess he's gonna come on camera.
Yeah, Jamie.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
I'm still on
Jesus.
vacation, but I brought Sam a buco.
Buko.
There you go.
Thanks.
Enlighten us. What's a buco? Is it just like coconut juice or what is it?
Coconut. Yes,
Nice.
coconut. I'll try
Well,
this later.
enjoy it. Buco.
Bro, did you just go swimming?
Huh?
You just go swimming?
Yo, Dominic, just to let you know, bro, that was the founder of the company, by the way. We're looking professional as usual.
Yeah, you just got back today, right?
Late last night.
Oh, late last night. He has a divinity 10. Yeah, he's like five shades darker. Oh man. So yeah, basically before like the electricity went out again, we create everything in our life, whether we consciously are aware of it or we're unconscious of it. It can be something negative, be something positive. You know, and it's crazy some of the stuff that you're able to really create whenever you're in your divinity. And one of the things I'll share, and if you're on this call, you're probably like, okay, this is crazy, but I honestly don't care at this point. I heard Jamie and Don talking about changing the weather. And I'm like, all right, these guys are literally out of their minds. Yeah, which is true, you know, no intellectual thoughts here. And they're like telling me all these stories of how they did it. You know, Don's talking about this one, Jamie's talking about this one. And we were actually headed, I believe it was Divinity Mountain. Yes, Divinity Mountain. We were heading there. It was me, Jamie, and his fiance Nina. And there was like we're in the car, and Jamie's driving, I'm in the back, and there's like some really dark clouds. And I literally told the people on the stream, like, hey, like give me a couple of days. I'm gonna change the weather. So I get in to my divine focus, and all I see is the sky becoming clear. Not even just seeing, but I knew it was like this level of knowing, like, yeah, it's gonna clear up. Within like 3-4 minutes, there's not a cloud in the sky. And then later that day, Jamie and I were getting ready to do the stream on Divinity Mountain. Well, there was like a bunch of clouds and they're all covering the moon. And we sit in our divine focus and just see it completely clear. And the moon was super bright, and yeah, literally just open right up. And so imagine the level of power that you have. That's the level of power that you possess. But a lot of the times when we're not aware of it, guess what? We're using it to self-sabotage, which that was me. Literally like constantly like having something amazing happen in my life and then completely destroy it and ruin it. So that's the power that we possess and that's the power that we have. So I want to call on Superman. I like what you said earlier, Gilbert. I voluntold you, Superman.
Hi guys.
Hola.
Hello.
Yeah, how y'all doing? Anyway, I was listening to your stories and how you got connected to the divinity process, and my story is quite a little different, as I came from a very sort of medically focused cause and effect world where everything had a reason, a cause, and I would always sort of go into that and deal with people to find what their particular issues might have been on a very conscious level. So I had really, I've done this little bit of meditation, and I've looked at the different processes, but I've always been mostly on the outside looking in, and really not too worried about whether I got involved with all these processes, but I would hear about everybody's stories about committing themselves to different modalities. And so that was my kind of world. And I wasn't judgmental about it, but I would just sort of acknowledge it and go, yeah, that's cool. So is that helping you? And well, that's great. Okay, so it's getting you from point A to point B. Great, don't stop. I mean, even if it doesn't fit in with what would be traditionally a way of going, getting to the causes and effects of whatever is ailing them in their lives. So I would definitely support them and stay away from any kind of judgment calls, but all the while not kind of seeing that this process would work for me and not really have too much interest in it. My wife, Donna, she always delved in this area, and this was something that she would do on a regular basis. So it's not that it wasn't around me, it was just my interest level was different. And I figured, well, this is what works for her and or even the people that I would work with, and I would just go along. And so this kind of crept up on me in a big way, where I was feeling that I had to connect because given my situation, I was in Vancouver, BC at the time, and so I felt that I needed to get back to some of the things that I felt that were important in my life, and my former activity, which was in basically integrative health work. It actually had almost come to a halt when I moved from Ontario to Vancouver. So I was in the phase of sort of, I wouldn't say, I never like to use the word retirement, but I was in a change of occupation phase where I knew that something was going to shift. I was in the shift, and I was in the mode of having to move somehow in terms of what my activities were, because that totally shifted. So I got interested in some of the discussions that I heard about. At that time, it was in combination with Jamie, and I thought, well, let's do this because this is one of the pieces of my puzzle where I had to solve something about financial, comfort or financial independence. And so I started digging into that a lot more than I had in the past, because it was never really important for me at that time to be financially successful. I never identified myself as someone that had accumulated wealth or accumulated knowledge and used that as a sort of power source to guide me through life. I always knew that that was not the answer. I always knew that that wasn't going to give me what I needed in my life, and it definitely wasn't going to solve any lack that I had in my life. I already had made that decision. And so anyway, this came around and sort of started to be presented to me in a sort of backdoor way, where I was looking for some kind of financial investment project to do, because I'd never really entered into that field. It's all pretty new to me. And next thing you know, I'm starting to listen to the divinity talks, and then Dawn shows up, of course. And my wife and I did one of the first, if not the first one that at the end of last year that Dawn was doing in terms of finding your divinity and divine focus. And so Dawn and I, we focused and said, okay, we're going to be part of this. And that's quite unusual for me, because I was always looking from the outside in. And I said, okay, no, I want to know what this is all about. So I started this journey, and with Donna, because I thought that was awesome, because we have been connecting a lot more. And I think the less busy I got in my area of work, the more connected I got with Donna. And so that was so important to have that, because I'm not sure if I had somebody else in another situation where I would have even, lifted the covers off of what all this is about. So that was quite a different approach. So I didn't have all of the years and all of the experiences that people had sunk themselves into. So the comparative thing, I had very few sort of comparisons here and there. But for me, it wasn't important the amount of experience I had. It was important what I was experiencing at the time. So here I am, and I'm everything to me. I feel like the greenhorn coming in here and realizing. So I kind of like it in a way, because my preconceptions haven't been sort of shaped for me, or I haven't had all the influences. So it allows me to come in with sort of a clean, not sort of, but with a clean slate of, okay, this is something, you're going to learn about, and, you'll be open to it, and see what happens. So, so I've been doing the divine focus, and I've been doing much like Gilbert. I was kind of more, resting on those public presentations, or those group presentations that Dawn gave, and I was getting quite a lot out of it. And but we had a lot of experiences, my wife Donna and I, in terms of synchronicities. When we first met, we were so tuned in. I'll give you an example. For example, we lived in Toronto, and we both attended the Royal Conservatory of Music program there. And because music is a big part of my life, I'm also I'm not doing it now, but I'm an operatic singer. So I went to this program, and Donna was there with me, and we didn't have a vehicle. You don't need one in Toronto. You can transit is wherever you want to go. So in our early getting together, we would take the subway to or the tube to our class, which was a good probably 4 miles or maybe 3 miles away, but we get there in no time with the subway. So anyhow, I would literally know when Donna was on the subway, and she would go to a certain station, and maybe it was St. George in downtown, near Bloor and Yonge in Toronto, and I would know that she actually got off at St. George Station. Like I knew she got off, and that if I got off at St. George Station, I'm going to run into her. And it happened almost every time I thought about it. So, so this was kind of kicking me all the time. I'm saying, holy mackerel. I mean, I even got on the subway train once, and I know she'd had a different schedule, and I got on at a certain stop, and I said, okay, I got to stop now, and I got to get off, and it's not my stop that I normally get off on. So I would get off on that stop, and I just stand on the platform waiting for the next train to come, because I knew she was on that next train. So then I would get in the subway car and I would find her on the train, on the car that I got in. Now you got a choice of many cars. And I don't even know why, but I'm picking the car that she's in, and then we meet. And then she'll say something like, yeah, I've been thinking about you. I said, well, yeah, I've been thinking about you, and here we are. So it's not that I didn't have sort of a quote unexplained occurrences in my life, but they were strong at that time, and then they kind of would fade out, and then they would kind of come back again. But we always had those synchronicities happening, and I know I shared some of those here in our time in Greece that we've run into already, that were again would seem kind of like, well, that can't happen. How did that happen? It's not logic. You can't think that that's going to happen, can you? Well, you don't think, as we know. It's not about thinking, and it's just about being in the moment. And we are, as our talk yesterday about spontaneity, huge part, huge. And other people want to call it serendipity. Well, whatever you want to call it, it all has that ingredient of being spontaneous and acting rather than thinking. So this part is quite important for me, and I'm looking forward to the journey. I'm not sure where I'm going, and it's really not important at this time. But I think that once you make a commitment in life, I'm pretty loyal. So I want to find, I want to get to the whatever results are there for me. I want to be there as well, and we're here. So anyway, that's sort of a little bit of my background. So when somebody asks me how many careers or what was your past career, first of all, I never talk about my past, because I figure our careers are current. Doesn't matter where you're at, and they're alive. So I say, okay, well, which one do you want? I think I'm like a cat. I've got about 9. So which one would you like me to talk about? Anyway, that's sort of a little bit about me and how I've kind of, I guess I would say, evolved to the whoever I am now. I'm not even 100% sure. I'm still looking.
Thank you for sharing, Paul.
Sorry, I was muted. But yes, thank you so much for sharing, Paul. That was awesome. And Tiffany says it sounds like some Superman talent.
Oh yeah.
Keep that cape on.
I got more stories on Superman, but we'll keep those for another day.
No more Clark Kent. Superman is here to stay.
You want to hear something spontaneous, since you guys are about spontaneous?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Gilbert.
Interesting download that I got. I know it sounds kind of strange, but I don't know if this would make sense to you guys. I'm sure, hopefully, I'll just throw it out there. But I was asking, I was like, okay, what's up with the animals and all this? And then it said that when they were creating the names of the animals, they said that they gave them the name of what they sounded like. So a good example is like horse or chicken, chicken, or cricket, cricket, or snake, or fish. So like the sound of water. Isn't that trippy? What is happening? I just never saw it that way before from because all the beliefs and before, you know what I mean? It just got clogged up. So I seen it in a different kind of ways. Just blows my mind sometimes. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Thanks for sharing, bro. All righty. So we got some new people on here. I'd love to hear what maybe insights that you guys have. Yeah, we got Alan, Jack, Kyla, Maria. I think there's the other Paul Ostrowski.
Yeah, I could share.
The floor is
Hello.
yours.
Well, I have to say this is like my second time on this channel, and the first time that I had listened to the group, something about that evening when I went to bed, I woke up so refreshed and excited about life and about what it was bringing to me. And actually, I was really excited to get back onto today's event and listening to everyone, and the possibilities are there. It comes down to how we're ready for it or not. And I'm still learning. Every day is a learning day for me, I feel.
Well, that's awesome. And the reason why is because the possibilities of hearing all these people, it sparks something within you,
Yes.
that divinity within yourself. And I will tell you that the whole learning thing, once you get to this level, is going to kind of go out the window.
Yeah, I see that. I
Yeah,
definitely
I
see
used
that.
to read a book every single morning. I'd read every single day, and I don't remember the last time I read a book, because it's this level of knowing that you get to. And I'm not saying that it's bad or whatever, but it's just there's a whole, you know exactly what you need in the moment. And so we're excited for your transformation, Paul. Have you done a transformation with Don yet?
No, I have not, and I missed the last couple sessions. I know there was like a work sheet I needed to fill out and work on that, and then I guess go from there.
Yeah. So we were gonna have one on the 7th, but because the membership isn't 100% yet, the next group session will be on the 22nd of this month. So for everybody that's on this call, just know that's going to be our next session. I would mark it on your calendar. It'll probably be at this time. We'll give you all the details, send you an email and everything. So just make sure that you are signed up. And if you haven't gotten signed up for the membership portal, I would go to the person that invited you and just get the link, because I think it's gonna be another 2-3 days. Yeah, because we're just waiting on the KYB to get confirmed. So 2-3 more days, get signed up, and then we'll see you on the next transformation, Paul.
That sounds great. And you're saying that's going to be for March what? Which date?
It's the 22nd.
Okay.
So in about 2 weeks, yeah, about 2 weeks from now.
Yep. I'll reach out to my sponsor and get the website portal for that.
Awesome. Looking forward to your transformation, Paul.
Thank you for your time. Great talk,
Thank you for your.
everyone.
All righty. Well, it's great to see all these new people, new faces, hear all your stories. This is what we want. It's really just having everybody at this level, that's the goal, and just holding it as a unit, because we do need each other. Janet says Maria has done the process with the replay. Awesome. Well, Maria, we would love to hear your testimony, your story, if you're open to it. Oh, she can't share right now. Okay, no worries, Maria. We'll look forward to you sharing in the future. Okay. Can you scroll down for me, bro, a little bit? Okay. Shannon, Tim, do you guys want to share? I know you guys had a very powerful testimony as well. Man, Facebook and
Hey,
Instagram
I'm
went
here.
down yesterday. Like, what the heck is going on? All right.
Hey, Sam, it's Shannon.
Hey, Shannon.
Hello.
Floor is
Yeah,
yours.
I was like many. What was that?
I said the floor is yours.
All right, thanks, Sam. So I was like many others, went for about 20 years in all kinds of personal development, leadership classes. Things usually stuck just like the normal few weeks, and then circumstances, kids, I just kind of let whatever take away that light and that positivity. And then my husband, I think he was on day like 5 to 7 watching your Zooms, and he's like, I think you should really get on. I think this is something that you'd be interested in. It's Jamie, and you know a little bit about him. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll get to it. And then finally, I was done with appointments and meetings. There was like, I don't know what, 6-7 days had went by, and I was like, okay, I'm finally ready. Send me the link so I can start watching. And I ended up watching the Zoom where James was on there, and Don was doing the process and using James as the example. And I started doing it, and my whole body just started tingling. And I was like, I feel good. Like, this is light. Don was saying, you know, if you needed to go back to the womb, and I was like trying, and I was like, nope, I'm stuck at, you know, 4 or 5. So then Jamie's birthday, I did the process again with Tim. So I did the process twice, and I was able to go all the way to the womb where my grandpa wanted my mom to abort me because she was a teen, and that was just very against his religion. And didn't realize that I like carried that. And like, even when she would share her story to other pregnant teens and stuff, and to encourage them, like I didn't realize that I was carrying that negative. And when that happened, I was so free and light. And I got done, and I looked at Tim, and I was like, okay, this is it. Like, our kids are not going to be labeled with their intellectual disabilities. They're not going to be setting the tone to the home, and they're 16-year-old twins and a lot of things. And so from that day forward, I've had, I think, one day where I was just like, oh my gosh, this is it. I'm done. Like, they're, you know, driving me crazy. And I just started doing my divinity focus, and it just instantly gone. And we've had a couple things over the last few days happen. And I know, like, we're being, you know, like, I know people will say, oh, you're being tested, or, you know, whatever. Where if I'm upset, Tim is upset for that, you know, or if Tim's upset, I'm upset for that. And we like would kind of feed off of each other. And we haven't done that. Like, we are, I feel more in our light, and like not letting any of those things dictate, or our circumstances change, you know, how we look at things. And some really cool stuff, because we responded differently to these situations. We all of a sudden just had a bunch of stuff pour in that was just like, what, that was how many months ago, and we've been waiting, and now look, like, and so it's one of the case managers today, I had talked to her, and there was it could have been a really frustrating situation with the school and one of the teachers. And I said, I'm staying in my light. And she goes, you have been amazing at staying in your light and positive through all of this. She goes, I'm really learning from you. And I that just made me feel really good, because it's like, even though I'm able just to share the little experiences, that's just going to open up the doors to be able to have people, come in and see that, going, okay, what is this light you keep talking about? And so I'm really excited, and feel like we have life again, because for so long I just felt like it was just so dark and so heavy. And I know for you guys that are in these warm states, we usually go south for the winter, like Corpus Christi, Texas, or Orlando, Florida. But today it snowed. And normally when I walk outside and I see it snowing, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to drive. And oh no, what about this? And what about that? I'm like so worried, right? And I was like taking pictures and trying to take videos of how beautiful the snowflakes were. And I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like catching myself, like everything is just so amazing. And so I appreciate the process and the people sharing. There's just so many cool things. And I feel like when people share, I've been able to relate to like everybody on the call with different things of life that have happened. And so thanks to everybody who is also sharing. So
Thank you, Shannon. And yes, you're so right. Like, I relate with everyone, and it's just great to hear all the different stories. Paul says you're definitely shining bright, and you're shining like a superstar, Shannon. So keep it up.
oh, thank you.
Dominic says, I would say that we can see your aura.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for sharing your light, which is you. Alrighty. Well, let's see. Anyone else want to share? Who's this? Who's Alan Sprohar? I've never seen that name before, and it's an alien. So is it one of our ET buddies? All right. Well, so what else? So we do stepping away from all of the beautiful stories. What I will say is so the I Am Divinity, we have the process, which is helping you really find the freedom within. And then, like Shannon said, right, like there's like all these deals and things that they were waiting on like a couple of months ago or whatever, and now they're coming in. Well, that's what happens whenever you become free within. All of the other things start to come, the financial pieces, the health, the relationships, all of that starts to flow in. So what we've done here at I Am Divinity as just a bonus, because there's so many financial companies, and we didn't want to just be another financial company. We wanted to revolutionize the entire world. And one of the things that we know is obviously kind of important here on this plane is the financial piece. So we do have the Forex fund, which is essentially, we have institutional level traders that are trading. I mean, they trade billions of dollars, right? But he has. So he's traded billions of dollars and whatnot, and has agreed to trade for us. So normally it would be about $250,000 US for you to have him trade your money. But with us as a community, you can start with as little as $500, and they're doing about like 10% a month, which is crazy because, if you go to a Bank of America or whatever banks that you're going to, if you put in a savings account, they're giving you 1% per year. So it's pretty awesome. And then the other thing which is really popping off right now is the crypto fund, with the bull market and going off right now. Yeah, to say the least, I think we're close. our crypto fund managers are literally, I think they've done like probably close to 1,000% already, and it's not even altcoin season. So it's still open. You still can invest into the crypto fund, but it will, whenever the altcoin season does start, it will shut down, or not shut down, but it'll be closed off for investments. So if you want to invest in the crypto fund, we're still having that open for you guys. And yeah, the last thing we're waiting for as far as the partner program is the KYB. That'll take 2 to 3 days. We're also getting the Divinity banking system going. It's in the process. That will be really awesome. So we have instant transformations here where you can have a transformation instantly, and then at the same time, I mean, we'll have that even before the banking app, but instant commissions as well. So you can get paid literally as soon as you make a referral. So some really cool things. We'll keep you posted on all of it. You know, I mean, there's so many moving pieces here. It's like the Divinity Bank, the broker, the affiliate partner, like Forex fund. There's so many different aspects to this. So we're focusing on the things that matter the most, which is Divinity number one, and then we're moving from there. So any questions as far as that goes today? So if you need help with the crypto fund or the Forex fund, we'll be doing an onboarding. Yes, Paul. We'll do an onboarding call after this session is over. So right now it's 11:41 a.m. here. So I think it's what time? It's 10:41? Yeah, it's 10:41 over there, p.m. for you guys. So at 11 p.m. Eastern, we'll have the onboarding call. And with that being said, thank you for being here. We appreciate you all. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Infinite love from me to you. And with that being said, I'm just going to play this video really quick so you have just a slight overview of everything that we offer here at IAMDIVINITY. See you guys. Oh, wait, hold on. We're going to play the intro before because it's just too fire.
Hi there, my name is Jamie Devine. Welcome to IAMDIVINITY.
You know, here at IAMDIVINITY, what we do is we help you unlock your inner power.
So that's what we're doing.
When I come here to the call, you break down my memory from my childhood.
That's the power. Imagine how healthy our community will be. Like, they're so pure and so powerful.
That's pretty fire. Alrighty, so yeah. So now we'll play the video.
My name is Jamie Devine. Welcome to IAMDIVINITY. I'm super excited for you to embark on this journey. Just congratulations for even finding IAMDIVINITY. My journey has been over 16 years of personal development, spiritual programs, multiple religions. I've been an entrepreneur since the age of 13. I never had a regular job. And so going through all of that, showing up to Don Smith 4 years ago to take his instant and permanent transformation, first of all, sounded a little hard to believe because I had done so much work and I still had all my shit. I was still an alcoholic, a weed addict, a narcissist. My financial gains in business and investing would shoot up and then cut right down and start over, shoot up, cut right down, and I could never hold my success. Going through his program, it was about 2 hours. All of my toxic patterns and programs were completely gone, literally just gone in a second. And I can't even describe how liberating that moment was for me. But right after that, I told Don, I said, I don't want to do any of the business that I'm currently doing. I woke up to my purpose for coming to the planet. When Don told me his vision of raising humanity's consciousness to the level of 700 on the scale, enlightenment, which was the cause of all causes. The level of consciousness is the cause of all of our individual and collective problems on the planet. And so to finally have that solution, experiencing that solution for myself, I just wanted to tell everyone and anyone that would listen. And of course, with all my entrepreneur background and my skills in marketing, I made an agreement with Don so that I could just, literally my job would be to hold my light and share my light with others and bring them to the process and actually get compensated for it. And so I'm super excited to announce that we've now created this entire system for you too. Now imagine that, being able to go through this instant and permanent transformation for yourself, be liberated of all your toxic patterns and programs, literally within a couple hours. And then on top of that, being able to have all your financial fuel and energy and livelihood come from this divine system. And so there's a few pieces to it. Number one, we have an affiliate partnership program. So you're a partner. Your job is to hold your light, share your light, and anyone that's attracted to it, bring them to the program, and we pay out 30% of all the financial part of the system to you. That's the first part. The second part is my experience in the financial realm took me into Forex and crypto over the last 10 years. And I've been through all the roller coaster rides, all the ups and downs, all the scams and schemes. And we landed on just a couple people that were actually full of integrity, and that have actually gone through the divinity process, and that are like nothing else. So our Forex fund is ran by an institutional trader. And if you've ever done anything in the financial realm in Forex, 99% of the retail space, the average everyday person, it's a scam. It's a scheme. You're going to lose your money. Maybe you're one of the few that got in early and took the money from the others, but eventually it collapses. I've seen them come and go over the years. But this institutional trader, he has 7 years of experience, and we have his entire track record of his strategy. He has an algorithm. He spent over $20 million in development up to this point. And so even with all that being said, there's still no guarantees. Of course, when it comes to investing, please only risk what you can afford. But we found something that's more solid than I've ever experienced, and it's where our personal funds are. And so you'll have access to that as well. His team has produced over the last 7 years on average 50 to 60% per year on the funds. And you don't have to do anything. You open up the brokerage account, our team will help you do that, and you park your funds there like you would a bank account, and his algorithm trades on all of the accounts. And so we can expect a 50 to 60% if it's anything like the previous average. But again, all the past performance never guarantees anything in the future. Just please be mindful of that. And then the last piece is our crypto fund. Now the crypto fund is very time sensitive. So a good friend of mine, Josh, who's handling the crypto fund, he's become an expert at this stuff. That's all he does every day. He goes and researches the top legitimate projects in crypto. To give you an example, in 2021, which was the last crypto bull run, Josh on his personal portfolio did over 8,000% that year. 8,600 to be exact. And so this was a kid that was 21 at the time and had his life savings in crypto and became a millionaire over that year of investing. And so just this last year, Josh told me, hey, I'm gonna do what I did last bull run, but I'm gonna open it to a few friends and family. I said, Josh, no problem, I trust you. I sent him the funds for myself, and then I said, Josh, I want to open this up to our entire community. He said, well, I don't know if legally that's a little tough. I said, don't worry, I'll work on that. And we created Divine Markets, which is a legal entity to be able to facilitate this, both the Forex fund and the crypto fund. And so we overcame that, and Josh is exclusively handling all the crypto for our community. And his target for the next year is 1,000%, about a 10x on the funds. And again, there's absolutely no guarantees. Please only risk what you can afford to risk. And so that's it. That's the overview. It's pretty simple. You got the affiliate partnership program, which again is just going to share the financial part with you so that you can actually create a network and an income for yourself while holding your light and sharing your light. Which, by the way, going through this process, we wouldn't be able to pay you to not tell people about it, because you're just going to be radiating and people are going to be attracted to you. And so we just wanted to create a system where we're all partners in this to reach that goal of 114 superheroes of light that are holding this and shifting humanity's consciousness. And so I welcome you to be a part of that vision and mission and part of our team. And I'm excited for you to go through your process. By the way, all of this financial part is only exclusively available to those of you that have gone through the process and committed to that. So it's not going to be available to anyone else. So what a bonus, what a reward for accessing your light and holding it, that you get access to an institutional trading fund that you wouldn't be able to get access to unless you had $250,000 and you accredited investor and all those things that the institutions look for. So we created a bridge for you on that. And the crypto fund, unless you know someone like Josh, and even if you did, it's not cheap or easy to get involved with those things. But we've made it easy for those of you that go through this process. It's a $500 minimum on the Forex fund, $500 minimum on the crypto fund. So that's it. I'm excited for you, and we'll see you on the other side.